Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. I'm your host, Amy Beltran, CEO and founder of Irresistible University. I'm here to help you love yourself by dropping the body image issues so that you can lose the emotional weight and gain the confidence to look and feel irresistible at any size. All right. Hello, everyone. In this week's Irresistible You podcast episode, I am here to talk to you about why weight loss is not about reaching a goal weight. I know. You're like, whoa, what are you talking about, Amy? We're going to dive right into all of this. And I want to say up front that believing that weight loss is about reaching a specific goal weight, a specific number on the scale, that is what you have been conditioned to believe is true. All right? And that conditioning of chasing a goal weight, chasing a number on the scale, that is exactly what is keeping you stuck on the never-ending yo-yo diet cycle. And I want you to ask yourself, I want you to think about this question. What is weighing my goal weight going to do for me? So think about what number you have created for yourself, wherever this number came from. I want you to ask yourself why weighing that number is important to you. And what is weighing that number actually going to do for you? What is going to change because you get to say, I weigh blah, blah, blah. Okay? And I want you to then think about and ask, how is that supposed to become a magic button, a magic cure to all of your problems? Because you have a belief that's wrapped up in this goal weight number that it's going to be really hard to get there. You've got a lot of work to do. You know what to do. You know what to do to get there. You're just not doing what you need to do to get to your goal. But if you would just put all that aside and start doing what you need to do to drop the weight, everything is going to just fall in place for you. But yet, you don't have a plan for any of that. And you think that just by achieving this number on the scale, all of your other stuff in life is just going to come together magically. And I can say this to you because I believed this to be true for so many years. It was like, well, if I can just get to, 150, that was always my magic goal weight number. If I can just get to 150, everything in my life will just finally, fall in place and everything's going to be happy and I'll finally feel happy and successful and all this other stuff that I have going on. It won't matter because I'll be skinny and that's all that really matters. Right? And so we build it up in our minds that this number is attached to all of our future happiness, our future success, our future beauty, all of this stuff that I don't know. We just magically think it's going to come true, except it won't. And I know that from experience. Reaching a goal weight number just for the sake of saying, oh my God, I weigh 150 pounds, using that number as an example, that number and saying that you weigh that number, that is not going to cure your anxiety. That is not going to cure all of your money problems that you have. That is not going to solve and improve your shitty ass relationship that you're in right now. It's not going to change the crazy ass people in your family. It's not going to change the bad friends that you're keeping around. It's not going to change the toxic people in your life. And it's not going to just automatically change your lack of confidence in yourself. You're not going to just be confident because, oh my God, you weigh 150 pounds or whatever your goal number is. All right? It's not going to get rid of your fat girl mindset. And it's sure as hell not going to get rid of your anxiety and fear around food. And it's not going to get rid of you wanting to use food as your only source of entertainment. just because you get to that number. So you can put your head down, you can do what's on the diet plan, you can do your detoxes, you can do your keto for the next 6 months, and put everything else on your life on hold until you get down to that goal weight. But I promise you right here, right now, none of those other things are just going to go away. Just because you got to 150 and you proved that you could follow a diet plan. Because let me ask you this. How many times have you done that? And each time that you have done that, please comment in the Facebook group and let me know how many times when you lost your weight, did your anxiety go away? Did your money problems go away? Did people stop dropping dead that you love? Did your shitty relationships end? Did you gain a ton of confidence? And did you cure your anxiety and all your feelings around food? And if you did, I'd love to know. And if you did, then I would really love to know why you gained your weight back and why you're still on the yo-yo diet body hate shame cycle, because those two things do not go together. You cannot just lose your weight and expect this stuff to happen unless you are actively addressing those things by also losing the emotional weight with the physical weight. So let's just put this out here. Like, losing weight, duh, it's going to help you physically. You're going to feel better physically. You're going to be able to move better. You're going to be able to get around better. You're not going to sit down in a chair and wonder if it's going to stay on your ass when you stand up. #guilty. Okay? It's not like those things are going to happen on a physical level. Your joints might feel better. Your back might feel better. Right? So you're going to have these physical side effects, and those things will fade for you over time. And then what is left with you at your goal weight, Miss Thin, always wanted to be thin, and now here you are. Now what are you left with? You're left with your anxiety, your money problems, your shitty relationships, your lack of confidence, your fat girl mindset, and all your fear and anxiety around food. None of it went away. And when none of that stuff goes away, that is exactly how the cycle keeps repeating itself. Because you're going to lose your job. You might lose your house. Someone you love is going to drop dead. Someone you love is going to get cancer. Someone you love is going to be in an accident. Something traumatic or something negative. Someone's going to call you a name. Someone's not going to call you ever. And all these things that happen in our life that are going to happen in our lives, you're not going to be prepared to handle it. And you're going to go right back into your old habits because you never lost the old habits. You never lost the emotional weight. And I'm not saying this to be doom and gloom, Miss Negative. I'm here to keep it real with y'all. And the reality is that's life. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people say that, I'll start over on Monday, I'll start over January 1st, I'll start over this day, as if that's going to make everything perfect. And then the minute things aren't perfect, and when I say not perfect, I'm even talking you guys use holidays as an excuse. Because there's not a fucking candy bar available to you outside of Halloween, but because it's a fucking pumpkin, you gotta have it. Oh my God, I gotta have it now. Right? It's insanity. It's insanity. And this is the stuff that we do, right? So, when you're on a weight loss journey and you're thinking about losing weight and you're thinking about how you want, who you want to become from the weight loss, it's not actually a number that you're after. And I know you think that's what you're after because of the conditioning, but if we strip all the surface level stuff, if we really get down to the nitty gritty of it all, it is not a number. You are chasing and you are after a feeling of who you want to be. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you're chasing a feeling. What you really want is you want to feel less anxious and fearful around food. But just weighing 150 pounds or 100, whatever your goal weight is, just weighing that number for the sake of weighing that number doesn't cure your anxiety and fear around food. What cures your anxiety and fear around food is doing the work on your emotional weight, losing the emotional weight, and doing the work to stop using food as a drug. Okay? You want to feel more confident in your abilities, more confident in yourself, so that you know how much you're worth. And when you know how much you're worth, that shitty relationship you're in, bye. Bye, Felicia. Okay? So that shitty relationship doesn't go away because your partner goes, oh, damn, girl, like you weigh 150 pounds now, so wow, like I'm going to start treating you good. If you think that is going to happen, that's a big reality check that needs to come on, because that's not happening. If someone treats you like shit at 250 pounds, they're going to treat you like shit at 150 pounds. And I guarantee it'll probably get worse, because they're going to feel, what's the word? The word escapes me right now. But they're going to feel more possessive of you at that point, because they're like, you're getting all this attention. Oh my God, right? So you want to feel confident and worthy so that you don't tolerate the bullshit relationships. You want to have other things to do in your life that are fun, that make you happy, besides sitting down on the couch and eating food. And if you don't fix that, if you don't find other things to do, if you don't find what feeds your soul now, you're going to be thin at your goal weight and still not have another outlet. You're still not going to have anything else to fill your cup other than a bunch of M&Ms and junk food. You want to feel like energized and happy and like there's exciting things to do in life, and you need other hobbies and other activities to do besides laying around on the couch all weekend, watching Netflix and ordering DoorDash. Right? And just losing your weight doesn't mean all of a sudden you're 150 pounds and, oh my God, I have this amazing social life now. Oh my God, I have all these things to do that I didn't have to do before. It doesn't just happen because you reached a number. It happens when you're intentional about the work that you're doing and not just so focused on the physical weight. You want to feel comfortable in your own skin, right? It's not like anyone actually wants to just feel thin. I don't buy that. I think that's very surface level. We want to feel comfortable in our own skin, because if you don't aim to feel comfortable in your own skin, getting to your goal weight, it's not going to be enough. Because if you are super overweight, if you have 100 or more pounds to lose, chances are you're going to have a shit ton of loose skin. If you have had kids, we already know this situation, especially if you have had a C-section like I have, you're going to have the mom pooch, the mom gut, whatever you want to call it, right? And those things are really hard to get rid of, like in a non-surgical way. And so my point in saying this is that when you aim to feel comfortable in your own skin instead of I just want to feel thin, that is giving you the foundation to have confidence and value and self-worth in yourself at no matter where you are in your journey. Because you could be at your goal weight and still have the mom gut. You could be at your goal weight and you still got loose skin. And so does that mean when you get to your goal weight and you still see those things, you're going to still be standing in the mirror, beating yourself up, not feeling good enough, and then trying to find the next best thing to fix it. And there's nothing wrong with surgery. I am pro surgery all day long, girl. Like, you do you, you get that plastic surgery, you get them tummy tucks. Like, I'm all about it. I would do it if I could. Okay? But you have to do those things when you've already done the mental, emotional work to know that you are worthy as you are right now. And anything else is a bonus and an enhancement to who you are and what you look like. Okay? So don't just say, I want to be thin. How about, I want to feel comfortable in my own skin? I want to feel good in my own body and not feel like a prisoner in my own body. Because that's a horrible feeling, right? And the other part of that is when you don't do that work on yourself to feel confident and comfortable in your own skin, you're still going to have that paranoia, right? That paranoia that like, well, now that I lost weight, I feel like people are really staring at me and people are noticing me that maybe they didn't notice me before, and maybe they're staring at me because they think I'm still fat or they think I'm still overweight, right? And so when you can feel comfortable and confident in your own skin, when people look at you, you're not sitting there having paranoid thoughts about, oh my God, they're looking at me because I'm too big. Like, it doesn't even bother you. But that takes work to get to that point, right? It takes work to have 0 F's what anybody thinks. And to say, I want to feel thin, thin is not a feeling, okay? So what if you you change all of that, or I want to feel what it feels like to be this goal weight, right? That's not a feeling. But how about instead we say things like, I want to wake up in the morning and I want to feel energized. I want to wake up in the morning and not have every joint and bone in my body ache because of the extra weight that I'm carrying. And how many times right now do you open your eyes in the morning and you already dread getting up, you're dreading the day before your feet even hit the floor? Because you don't have the energy. It hurts. It physically hurts to carry all that weight around. And on top of that, when all this bullshit stuff is going on in your head about how you feel and the emotions and all the stuff that you're carrying, it makes everything heavy. So I want you to start thinking about your future self. Who is she? What does she like to do? How does she want to feel? Not how much does she want to weigh, how does she want to feel? And when you think about how she wants to feel, that is how you need to set your goals. You've got to stop the weight loss. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a goal and saying, I want to get to this weight range, or I want to lose this amount of pounds. But you want to make sure that when you're setting those types of goals, you're also setting the goals about how you want to feel, because just to set a weight goal is not enough. Because none of this stuff changes just because you lose 50 pounds, just because you weigh, 120, 140, whatever the goal number is for you. So I want you to think about how you want to feel, and then think about also, it's not just the weight that you need to lose. So you got to also write down, what is it that you really need to lose? Here's what you really need to lose: the low self-esteem. We got to lose that junk. We got to lose the BS excuses, the BS stories that we tell ourselves, the BS rules that we create around our bodies, our food, our life. You've got to lose the emotional weight, the mindsets, the fat girl mindset, the entitled mindset, the perfectionist mindset, the all or nothing mindset. All that has got to go, okay? We got to lose negativity and the victim mindset, and all that stuff is the excuses that you're telling yourself about why this won't work, why you can't do it, why everything always happens to me. You got to lose the bad habits around food, around eating, around how you talk to yourself. Because this is not about food and exercise only. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000,000 times. This is like This weight loss journey is like 5% diet and exercise and 95% emotional weight and mindset. And until you grasp that, until you start living that, until you start doing that work, you're not going to get off the hamster wheel of the yo-yo diet cycle. So we got to lose the bad habits. The bad habits can be the way you talk to yourself, the things you eat, sitting your ass on the couch every single night and not moving your body, not taking care of yourself. We want to lose the self-soothing with food, treating food like a drug, treating food as if it's the only joy that we have in our life. And if food is the only thing that brings you joy in your life, you really need to think about that, because if the one thing that is bringing you happiness and joy is also the same thing that is beating you up, making you feel like shit, making you overweight, and making you miserable and uncomfortable in your own skin, is that really bringing you joy? You got to think about that. Because if it is, you need something else in your life to do. And we have to replace that. We're not getting rid of the food, but we have to replace that food is your only joy. Food is your only happiness, because it's also the number one thing that's making you miserable. We got to lose putting yourself last. Doing all this stuff for other people because you want them to like you, you want them to love you, to compensate for the fact that you're overweight. And if you have to do that, those people are toxic and they have got to go. And so those other things you have to lose. There are people that you will need to lose in your life to make this journey the best journey that it can be for you. And those toxic relationships, those toxic people, they're not doing you any favors and they need to go. So it's honestly it's not just the weight that has to go. All this stuff that I just listed for you, this is emotional weight. This is what I'm talking about. It's the low self-esteem. It's the excuses. It's the mindsets. It's the negativity. It's the bad habits. It's all of that. It's the lack of self-care, the lack of valuing who you are as a human being. All of that is emotional weight. And your keto diet and your Monday detox, none of those things are teaching you how to do that. And that is how I can help you. That is what I teach you how to do. Whether it's you listening to this podcast or whether it is you signing up into one of my signature programs and doing the work that needs to be done. Because I don't know about you, I only have one life. And it's going pretty fast. And it's going faster the older I get. And I refuse to sit here and allow food and a fat roll to dictate how I'm going to live my life, how much fun I'm going to have, how much happiness I'm allowed to have. And I did that for a long time. And I refuse to ever, ever, ever waste my life on those things again, trying to make other people happy because I'm too much for them. They can't handle a fat roll. Oh my gosh. So think about all of this. Write down your goals. Change your goals from just being a number, just being a weight, to actual goals of how you want to feel. And remember this, that continuing to only set a goal weight with a deadline attached to it, let's say I have to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, that kind of stuff, that is self-sabotage. Because when you set a deadline and when you set a number of pounds to that deadline, that is giving you an out when it doesn't work. And you have already convinced yourself that it's never going to work before you begin. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, go back and revisit how many times have you done this? How many times have you jumped on the yo-yo diet, body hate shame cycle, expecting something to be different on Monday? expecting something to be different on January 1st. How many times have you done this? And so if you continue to do this and you continue to only set a goal weight with a deadline attached to it, you are self-sabotaging your success. And that is an out of you deciding and choosing not to lose the emotional weight, not to work on the other stuff that we just talked about. And until you work on those things, none of this other stuff is going to work. And it's not going to maintain, and it's not going to work for a long time. So if you only focus on the number and you don't do the work to lose the emotional weight while the scale is going down, you will be right back on track of the hamster wheel, which is the yo-yo diet, body, hate, shame cycle. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the week after, but you'll be back because that cycle will keep on and keep on and keep on. All right, guys, I know this, as always, is a lot of information. I hope it was helpful to hear. Everything that I say to you is said from a place of love and respect, and also I have been in your shoes. And so I don't just blow all this stuff out at you. I come at you with this because I have lived it, I have done it, and I have overcome it. And so I get so passionate about what I talk about because I know what is on the other side if you would just give it a chance. And I would love to hear from you. What I would love for you to do is that if you are not a member of our free podcast discussion group on Facebook, then you have got to come over and join. The name of the group is called Irresistible You. You can go to facebook.com/groups/irresistible you. The link to that is included in the show notes. And when you come over into the discussion group, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go into the group and post telling me and the group, what is your new weight loss goal? And that is going to come from what we talked about in this episode. So based on everything that we talked about today, what is your new weight loss goal? I look forward to seeing you over in the Facebook group. I love talking with you guys. If this resonates, if this is helpful, please go over to iTunes and leave a rating and review. It takes 60 seconds. It's easy, it's simple, and it goes a long way to helping me, helping the podcast, and other women find our amazing community. Until next time, stay irresistible.